meeting between the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the federal government. I think they just wrapped up that meeting, and my colleague Femi Akande is joining me live from Abuja, at least to bring us up to speed with what he has heard. Femi, very quickly, tell us what we need to know. What was the outcome of that meeting? Any resolutions reached?
Well, so that meeting was deadlocked. What we gathered is that talks will continue. They met for hours behind closed doors. The people on the government side was led by the permanent secretary the permanent secretary here in the State House, Tijani Umar. Also in that meeting was the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, the CEO of NNPC, Mele Kyari, Dele Alake, who is a special advisor to President Muhammad Buhari, President Bola Tinubu,
yes.
Dele Alake, special advisor to President Bola Tinubu, was also in that meeting. He spoke to journalists. He told journalists that, well, it's still an ongoing process, that talks will still continue between the federal government and the Nigerian Labour Congress. They are looking at reaching a middle ground, and he expects that Labour will also come to a middle ground, be considerate with the federal government. They said that, yes, indeed, the federal government is concerned about the high cost of PMS now, the pump price of PMS that have been jacked up at petrol stations across the country. That government is also making plans to ensure that it makes some interventions that will help cushion the impact of these drastic hikes in fuel prices across the country. But what Labour is saying is that the federal government should revert to status quo. Well, that statement is a little bit ambiguous because the Labour Congress is not specific about what they mean by status quo. Do they mean that subsidy payments should be returned? But the chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajero, is saying that, in fact, the whole idea of subsidy in the first place is fraudulent. What he is saying is that, well, the Nigerian refineries should begin to work. The refineries in Kaduna, in Warri, in Port Harcourt, and all the 4 refineries in Nigeria should be made to work again. And also, before our subsidy payment is stopped, provisions should have been made for workers and for the poor, who will be most hit by this economic policy of the federal government. And they are insisting that they will stick to their guns until the federal government reverts to status quo. But that meeting will continue again. We hear in a few hours' time. We do not know when. We do not know if it's later in the night or tomorrow. But what we are hearing is that the meeting will continue in a few hours' time. Negotiations are ongoing. You know, this petrol crisis is a major challenge it's the first challenge that the Tinubu presidency is faced with. Everyone is watching to see how they will navigate their way out of this crisis. Tolu.
Well said, but I just want to ask now, in your own view, it seems Nigerians are more educated about the issue of subsidy at this time, because you see many Nigerians saying, I think we'll just let this go. Yes, well, we'll cushion the effect in the other way. What are you hearing with those you've spoken to? It's not as hard as it used to be. People really believe that something is wrong with this subsidy process, particularly now that we are challenged with revenue.
Yes, a lot of people agree that that subsidy scheme, the subsidy regime, is faulty. It is not economically sustainable, and it should be removed, because you know that even the federal government this year has not paid a dime to fund petrol subsidy. They already owe the NNPC Limited 2.8 trillion naira. They do not know how they would get that money to pay back NNPC. Remember, NNPC is a business venture enabled by the Petroleum Industry Act. And, you know, all NNPC is also saying that this is bad business for them to continue to fund the subsidy regime. They have been able to sensitize Nigerian. The federal government has been meeting with stakeholders. You know, the state government, the continuum. The previous administration was meeting with stakeholders. The previous administration also said that they have put plans in place to ensure that through the social investment program and other schemes, that they will ensure that they cushion the impact of the removal of fuel subsidy on ordinary Nigerians. But we believe that what the Nigerian Labour Congress is trying to do is just to pile pressure on the federal government not to leave anything to chance, to ensure that in withdrawal of the payments of fuel subsidy, the workers and the vulnerable, the poor people in Nigeria do not bear the brunt, or at least the impact is reduced to a minimal level. So,
There, our State House correspondent, Femi Akande. Of course, we'll keep a tab on you with regards to this story, because we know that meeting will continue and you'll be there to bring us up to speed with whatever resolutions reached at that meeting. Thank you so much. Stay safe.